recorded. So again, welcome everyone to the NGI Explorers webinar for the last call, that is call number 3, that our project is organizing. And the deadline to apply, it's actually coming. It's the next week, February 18 at 4 Central European Time. And of course, the main objective and the goal of this webinar is to support you and to help you, to provide you additional piece of information that hopefully will guide you to produce a better application. Just a few rules during this webinar. So whenever you have a question, please feel free and write it in the chat. At the end of this webinar, there will be dedicated time to answer this, but also my colleagues will be trying to answer whatever is possible during the webinar time. So Pablo, if you can go to the next slide, please. Perfect. So we're gonna be today, of course, our speakers, a small team today, but I will be happy. My name is Eva Stefanik, project coordinator. I will take you through some first of the points of the agenda that I will introduce in a minute. Pablo from Zabala Innovation will be informing you more about the eligibility criteria to be really sure that that you really can comply with our rules and you are the right fit. And then Julia Pastor from the Australo will take you through our United States network. Well, they will give you more information about they offered, their challenges, and what are those United States in our network. So next, please. So here is the agenda for today. We're gonna have basically 4 points. So I will give you certain information, what you should really know to succeed in your application. You will be informed certain timelines. So what's happening now, that is before the application, once you are selected, and what is happening after the selection. And as I mentioned, eligibility checks, information about our United States network, and then a Q&A at the end. Next, please. Okay, next one. Perfect. So what you should know to start, you should definitely know the concept of our project. This is the second webinar, so we will not repeat too much what has been said in the first one. If you have missed it, we invite you to go to our website and check it. Just in a very nutshell, I can say, of course, our project, as you can see by the logo of the European Commission, is funded from the H2020 funds, and we have a particular interest to run a fellowship program. It's a 3-year program that we want. It started from the vision that bright ideas, your knowledge, your talents should not have borders. So in that sense, we want to, our particular goal is to introduce and make a bridge between Europe and over transatlantic, directly with the United States. And this bridge should be, of course, a connection in the network, in the internet world, to build a new strong collaboration within those technical domains that you can see on the bottom. So we are particularly interested in certain projects that will be applying the domains like artificial intelligence, blockchain, big data, IoT, 5G, cybersecurity, and cloud edge computing. Those of you that you are here, you have already started your application, then for sure you are aware of it. Those that are attending this webinar for the first time, and it's your first interaction with our project, and please also enjoy this webinar and go to our website to learn more. So this is basically our mission, but what we want to achieve, we need to achieve a certain outcome that is desired by the European Commission, and they call it a human internet. So what does it mean? It means that the European Commission has a special dedication in terms of fund, in terms of money, in terms of grants to sponsor and support those of you, individuals, as well as startups, researchers, with the bright ideas, to make the internet better, to make the internet serve humans and solve a long list of current issues. So if we can go to the next one, please. Perfect. So, what are the expectation from us, from the project perspective, and in that sense, from the evaluator? So, where you should really pay attention while building your application. Next, please, Pablo. Okay, so basically the expectation here are built as the application form. So what you're gonna see here, you probably will recognize in the application form at F6S, and these are the key points that our evaluators will be taking a look at. And we have two types of evaluators. We have a technical evaluators that will be really checking definitely your technical skills. That is exactly this know-how. They will be looking at your expertise in certain skills and competences. They will be looking at the next generation internet relevance. What does it mean? It means that if you have been already taking a part in any of the projects, or your basically your curriculum vitae matches the certain domain that I mentioned before, and of course a certain experience, you need to upload your CV to our application, so that will be a base of information for them. Then of course the heart of your application is the excellence. So here the most important is to very well specify the technical scope. If it's gonna be your own idea, then of course you need to be very clear. You also have a possibility to apply to challenge, and in that sense you need to really be aligned with what is expected to solve that challenge. You're gonna hear in a moment about those 3 tracks if you are not yet aware of. So this is really to pay attention. This will be evaluated by them. You need to be very clear on the points, on the deliverables, on the milestones, on the task you want to achieve. This is very important. You need to build your application for our fellowship. That means for the 3 months program or 5 months program. This fellowship, this is sorry because it's a second webinar, so I hope you are already the ones that attended also the first webinar. But if not, I'm kind of repeating the information that your work plan needs to be visible. So what does it mean? It means that evaluators will really see what you are planning to achieve within those 3 or 5 months. Additional information at this point is that, of course, we are in the pandemic circumstances, very unfortunate for this type of project like our. So we of course have huge hopes that the situation will change and will allow some of you to travel, but we are also very transparent to say that if in case you are not able to travel, you also should have a certain backup plan with your program. That means if you would like to take part in this collaboration in a remote way, you need to shape and build your application also in a form that potentially could be suitable with some alteration to the remote collaboration. So next one, of course, the last part of the application form is something that is always very relevant for all projects funded by the European Commission. So we want to know what is the expected impact of your project, of your individual project. And mostly, of course, technological impact. You're going to advance certain knowledge, you're going to build some new standardization, your projects will improve in the social or economic domain. This should be very clear. And next, please, Pablo. And now we're gonna basically move to what you should know to really match well with the United States partner. So next slide, please, Pablo. And Pablo, here we're gonna be clicking a lot. So yes. So first, on our website, you have currently, if I'm not mistaken, 39 profiles of the United States partner that we collaborate with. So this is quite a lot. So you need to do your research to understand who you want to collaborate with. You have this profile like we have here an example. Next, please, Pablo. And one of the most important information for you is to really check if the one United States partner that you have selected is ready for you. That means here is a very beautiful example that this partner is open for everyone. That means it's open for type of researchers and type of innovators profiles, and is also open for 3 and 5 months challenges and ideas. But this is not this is not the case for every United States node. So please, before you're gonna be applying, you need to check this information if you are the right fit for the United States profile that you selected. Here, the second profile is of course the open idea profile. So in case you are applying with your own individual project, you know what you want to achieve, you know that you would like to have a particular support or access to certain facilities that the United States, this particular partner can provide you, or any other resource that you believe would be beneficial for this collaboration, then of course you are applying with the open idea. And again, you need to be very clear and check if this United States partner is ready for the type of focus area that you're going to be working in and certain vertical. And the next, please. If you don't have your own idea, don't worry. We have a lot of tech challenges to solve, and those challenges are prepared by our United States partners. So we have, if I'm not mistaken, 51 challenges to solve. So there is quite a lot of offer for you to choose. And here the most important is, of course, to understand the challenge and then check if you have the right skills and competences to apply for this challenge. Next, please. Okay, so this is the information how the evaluation process will look like. So what's going to happen once you're going to submit your proposal on our platform? You need to, of course, do it on time, and application submitted after time automatically will be rejected by the system. And then we will be checking if you're eligible or not. I will not touch upon this point because Pablo will take you through this in the details. Assuming that your application is eligible, you are automatically moved to so-called remote evaluation process. What does it mean in practice? It means that your application will be evaluated by 2 independent external evaluators out of our project that we are running a separate call for the interest of call for evaluators for this particular project. So the type of profiles of the evaluators, one business evaluator and one technical evaluator. And here I just need to say, especially to some maybe researchers, please do not worry. Our program is a fellowship program. It is not typical accelerator program for startups. We are trying to find a mix. We are trying to find a mix between those two words. So don't worry, because the business evaluators, they also know, and they have knowledge that you may not really provide the selling points to the market or as a researcher, and you will not be discouraged by minor points for this part. So just this additional information for you, for those of you who are researchers here. And then, assuming that you have achieved in sufficient point above our threshold, you will be invited to online interview. The online interview will happen with your selected United States partner and with us, with the project consortium. We will be contacting you and scheduling a half-an-hour interview, and this interview will be basically very brief, so you will have a time to pitch your idea, and then you will have a time to really discuss and interact with your United States, what is really needed, how they can support you, if they can support you. And through this interview, most of the time we are also checking if both parties are the right fit for each other, or we will try to support you and steer you with another United States node, if possible. Of course, we will see. Mostly are always successful cases at this first interaction, and then there will be our consensus meeting within the project consortium, also with the last feedback from the United States partners, and then we're gonna select up to 25 explorers. Up to now, we have this knowledge about the budget. If the budget a bit increase, there will be a bit more of you, but at the moment, more or less, we want to achieve 25 explorers to be selected within that call. And that's it. And once you are selected, we will invite you to sign the contract with us. After the contract, there will be an immersion event that you will learn in a moment. And then, of course, there will be the time to start your expedition, hopefully in June. You need to select a period of your expedition between June and October, 3 months in a row, or obviously 5 months that you will need to start by June. Next slide, please, Pablo. Okay, so what's next? And here, Pablo, we're gonna be clicking again. I believe so. Oh no, okay, not yet. So here, what's what I just mentioned, immersion. That's gonna be, if it's possible and pandemic allow us, we would be very, very happy and excited to organize again for you for this cohort bootcamp. So bootcamp is an event up to 3 days. We would be all attending to meet each other, to learn, to support each other, present your ideas, pitch your ideas, and basically connect and build already interaction. From our experience, we can already tell you that a lot of our explorers have started collaboration between each other, and started even their own project, or expanding the ideas they had. So normally you're gonna be in the right environment to do this. Next one, please. Here, during the boot camp, if it's physical, you will be also invited to have an interview with us. So we will shoot your short interview with you that will be posted on YouTube. You're gonna be simply saying about your idea, about your project, and then we invite you to check how this, if you want, of course, our explorers from the first open call and the interviews with the videos from the second open call cohort will be also available soon. You can find us on YouTube just by tapping NGI Explorers. So next, please. So what's going to happen during? So once you are selected, you already did the boot camp, you are already in the United States. And during that time, we're going to be following your progress. This is the very important part. You will, of course, need to accomplish your master plan that will be an annex to the consortium to the sub-grantee agreement that we will be signing with you. And in this master plan, you need to very clearly specify the milestones, deliverables, and the deadlines. This master plan needs to be approved by the United States, but don't worry, this will be all happening in the contracting phase. But then, of course, you will be working with this document as the main document of verification, because you will be paid not against your expenses, but FCTP or cascade funding. That means you will be paid against the results that you're going to deliver to us. That means you need to deliver all deliverables and the final report, and then we will be, of course, proceeding with the payments. So you will be assigned to a certain mentor from our project, and then, of course, we will be also having access for you for external expertise. You will need to identify what service you need, and inform about this your individual mentor, and then we will be providing you with this additional support. And I guess for now, this is the very most important chunk of information. Once you are selected, of course, you're gonna learn even more. Next one, please. Okay, and then after, so assuming you have accomplished your expedition, you have delivered us the final reports, there will be a final event. This event will be organized to hear all results of all of you, to pitch your expedition, and also to award the best, somehow the top explorers, the top ideas. You will be, of course, immediately a part of the NGI Explorers and NGI overall alumni program. So you will be part of our next generation internet network. So those of you that this particularly our project is a fit, we are really happy. But if you believe it is not the best fit, we definitely encourage you to go to the next generation internet website and see a lot of other projects that are working in this domain, and a lot of them have also open calls ready for to sponsor and support you in implementation of your great ideas or great projects. So and then, of course, we will also have normally what we do with our explorers within our network. We are ongoingly inform them about any opportunity of additional funding. And also we are closely collaborating with a particular project, Tetra project, that is fully dedicated to support the third party with the expertise, with their mentorship, with their boot camps. So you will be automatically connected with their services as well. Next, please. Yes. Now it's gonna be clicking, Pablo. So just stop, please. Okay. So now just to give you a kind of a wrap up where we are and how does it all look like on the timeline. So our open call was launched in last month, 2 months in fact already, in December 2020. So you know it's gonna close the next week, in February. What's gonna happen next? We will move to, next please. Yes, we will move to the evaluation and selection process. So this is scheduled to be between March and April. I already explained the evaluation process. So contracting is scheduled for May, as well as immersion. That means this bootcamp that I explained. And here it's important information for you. So once you're gonna accomplish immersion, physically or online, we will see how that's going to happen. And if case you want, it will be possible, you go to the United States, meaning possible due to pandemic condition, you will achieve your visa to the United States. We're going to release your first payment. Then next, please. Then the second part is, of course, you will need to implement your project in the United States. And then once this is finalized and you deliver us all these reports and are approved by your also United States partner, we are releasing the second payment. And the third payment is released right after you attend the NGI Explorer's Oscar event. So that's how it looks like. This is the normal way of cascade funding. Next, please. And for your information, what money we are talking about here. So those of you that the first time with us, that's your information. Otherwise, I hope you all read also our guidelines for applicants, where we clearly explain that the normal fellowship grant is the equivalent of the Marie Skłodowska-Curie grant. So this is very prestigious fellowship, and normal grant is the 4,650 euro per month. You will not be receiving money per month. You will be receiving in those percentage payment. Those of you, I hope all of you will have a chance to go to the United States. In that sense, given the conditions, you will be paid a 10% extra allowance, which is basically connected with a certain additional measures like measure safety, of course, maybe, I don't know, concerning the vaccination, its certificates, and concerning tests, maybe you need to book a flight very ad hoc. So all this is within that extra 10% allowance. So basically, the new rate, if you're going to be in the United States, is 5,115 euro per month for those of you that will really be able to be in the United States. And concerning the other option, Pablo will explain you in a second. So that's it now from my part. And Pablo, you can take over from here.
Thank you very much, Iva. So I will be explaining the eligibility checks, who can apply, how you can apply, etc. I will be explaining who can apply, the applications options. I will explain in visa requirements and insurance requirements. I'll explain also what type of reference documents there are available and what will they help you with, and what is the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic we're living. Okay, so who is eligible? Who can apply? The program currently supports two different types of candidate profiles. The first one is researchers. They shall be holding a master's degree or even higher. They should also be employed in a third level education institute, research infrastructures, or non-profit organizations, charitable foundations, and public research centers. And also, the other candidate profiles supported by the NGI program are innovators. These are internet technologies representing high-tech startups like SMEs, mid-caps working on internet and other related technologies. It is important to mention that the program supports individuals, not teams. Therefore, applications shall be filled by the candidate himself. Applications from individuals referring to other people, to third people, for performing the expedition will be directly discarded. Okay, candidates must be employees of any of the following entities. They shall be employees of universities, research centers, mid-caps, SMEs, or startups. These entities must be established in any of these countries. in any of the member states, in any of the H2020 associated countries. If you click on the green banner, you will go to it will direct you to the list of the H2020 associated countries, and you can check if your country is there, and also for overseas countries and territories, which are listed below as well. Okay, now what's in it for you? What type of applications options are there? Currently, there are three types of application options: Open Ideas Challenge and Peer Teams. For Open Ideas, you should propose a disruptive idea based on your line of research, product, or service. You need to identify what US node has a common interest with your priorities, with your area, and once you selected it, you should apply for it. The second option is challenge. You should apply to one of the challenge designed by our US nodes, as we mentioned before. And the last option is pair teams, in which applicants may submit a proposal to advance their ideas, products, or services, along with a US specific partner organization, as long as this falls under one of the several focus proposed in the eligible for the NGI program. This participation option allows you to bring your own US node. Okay. Now, what is required for my US expedition? First thing would be the visa. Okay, so candidates must be valid in the European Union, OCT countries, or H2020 associated countries. As we mentioned before, you need to be a passport holder. Exceptions will apply to non-European passport holders that hold a valid resident permission in the European countries, OCT or H2020. Explorers are also required to obtain a valid visa. We recommend using the J1, and any other type different than the J1 must be consulted with the specific US node, with the selected one. It is your responsibility to ensure that all the authorizations required are in order before the expedition takes place. From the side of the insurance, you are also responsible to ensure that your health insurance coverage meet the US regulatory requirements, and the failure from the explorer to maintain the insurance coverage, it's one of the grounds for termination of the program. So be really careful with that. Okay, now which are the reference documents that you have to keep in mind? Okay, so there are several documents. The first one is the guides for applicants. This is the Bible, the ABC, in which 99 of the information appears. So please read them very carefully and go through all of these sections to understand all the criteria and all the needed steps to proceed with the application. The submission has to be done online. Nevertheless, there is an online submission form, which is a reference template in case you want to see a reference document before completing the application and to be prepared of what is going to be asked and so on. Before finishing the process, applicants will need to confirm that they agree with the call conditions. There's a checkbox in the online form, but if you want to read what it consists of, what are the conditions that you are agreeing, the declaration of honor document will explain this. Also, in case that you are applying for the pair teams option, as I explained before, you will need to be required to sign a statement of commitment from the US that node that you're coming with. This refers to a memorandum of understanding that will be required to be signed for only those who are elected. So if you are elected, you will need to sign the memorandum of understanding. If not, this would not be necessary. You will only have to sign the statement of commitment. This memorandum of understanding will be signed during the contracting phase, and also all of these documents that I mentioned can be found in the website in the submission kit in case you want to have a deeper look. Okay. Also on the website there is a frequently asked questions section, so please do not hesitate to contact us if any questions related to the call comes up or if any doubts arise from now on. Now, what if the pandemic doesn't allow us to travel to the US? Okay, So as explained, the expedition will be for either 3 or 5 months stay for the explorer in the US exchange node. But there is another option. There's an alternative expedition option. In the event that the COVID-19 doesn't allow you to travel under safe conditions to the US node by June 2020, there are different options. The first option is to do a full remote expedition in Europe. Okay, you will still have to perform the full work of your work plan, but you will be receiving up to 50% of the total grant disbursed on a monthly rate. And the other option is a mix between a broad expedition, in-person expedition in the US, or a remote expedition in Europe. The payment for this option will be disbursed on a weekly rate. And while you are remote in Europe, you will be paid same as the other option, up to 50% of the monthly rate. But for the weeks that you are in the USA, you will be paid up to 100%, including the extra COVID-19 allowance, the 10% extra for the COVID extra expenses, as my partner Eva said. Now, I'll give the word back to my colleagues to explain the US nodes.
Okay, thank you, Pablo. Can you please go to the next slide? So until now, we discussed about the application process and so on and so forth, but this is a fellowship program. So it is also important to give you a very brief overview about the other part, so the US partners. So as you can see in this slide, for this third open call, we managed to bring on board 39 partners. Here you can see 37, but please note that two of those partners are participating with two different departments. So in total, we have 39. Which is a very high number, and this allows you to have a wide range of choices. What I would like to suggest here, as mentioned before, is that you are going to our website under the Apply Now page, and you check the description of each of those US partners. You can find whether the partner, the US node, is ready to host researcher or innovator or both profiles for 3 or 5 months or for both period, and whether they are open for open ideas or challenges. In case you want to apply for a challenge, please remind that you can choose between 51 challenges. In the website, under the Apply Now page, at the bottom of the page, you find not just the list of the challenges, but the description of each. So you just need to click on the ones that you are interested in, and you will have the full description. So, the objective of the challenges, the skills required, and so on and so forth. So please go to our website, and under the Apply Now page, you can find the US partner that can fit better your requirements and your profile. Next slide, please. Just please remember that we are always offering this third option, which is the pair team. So you can always propose to work with your own partner in the US. So in case, for whatever reason, you don't want to, to work with the US partners that we are proposing, or you already have contacts in the US, or you are collaborating already with an US institution, you can always, you're more than welcome to bring this partner on board and apply to the pair team option. Next slide, please. Okay, so last but not least, I would like to give you a very brief overview on what those US partners can really provide to you. So at the end of the day, they will be the ones amplifying this transfer of knowledge, because keep in mind that our program is not just about the money that we are giving you, but we really want you to live an experience. And those partners will really help you to make this experience in the US effective. So In this experience, what we aim is the transfer of knowledge. So what they can provide, really provide to you. First of all, they will support you to obtain the visa. Please keep in mind that they won't pay for your visa, but they will help you through the process. So, for example, by providing you with a letter of support or put you in contact with the administrative offices in the university or in the institution. So they will also provide you with a physical space where you will have, you know, the chance to live the experience and to be integrated with the daily day-to-day activities of the team in the US. And last but not least, we as NGI Explorers team, we will always helping you during the process, but at the end we are here in Europe and you will be in the US. So the US partner, the US node will be the ones who at the end will be your first mentor, and it will help you and it will guide you through the process for a better adaptation. So for example, it can help you with the accommodation, and it, you know, it really help you with your project, and you know, it will really guide you through, you know, this journey in the US. So this was a very brief introduction about the US node. So now I can give the floor for the Q&A section.
Yes, Julia, thank you so much. I just wanted to ask you actually if you could add the 1 point elaboration, just to mention that even though we have majority in our network, we have universities, in fact, they are very much interested also in the entrepreneurship side. If you can just elaborate with a few sentences, Julia, about this. And Pablo, if we can go back only to the slide with the list of, because I think maybe if we have some innovators or startup representatives, it is important that they have also the understanding that this is not only a strict academic fellowship.
Yeah, this is not strict academic. I mean, this was explained in the first webinar. As you can see here, those are universities and research centers. But keep in mind that this is not as critical as it is in Europe, meaning that those partners are really into technology and they have a very great connection with the entrepreneurial ecosystem in the US. So even if you are an innovator or a startup, this could be really a good opportunity for you, because they will really help you, you know, to connect with the ecosystem there and, you know, also make your business in the US. Of course, this is also an opportunity, you know, to also discover the entrepreneurial ecosystem. It's also a good opportunity for the researchers.
Okay, thank you, Julia, so much. So I think, I don't know if Sarah will take over now the Q&A. If I can only start with one question that we received to the panelists so other people cannot see it, and I can answer this question directly. So we received a question from Levent. That is, are the requirements from the United States nodes in terms of duration 3 or 5 months or type of participants, researcher or innovator, strong requirements, or they are priorities but can be flexible? Well, the very straightforward answer is for the evaluation system that is also automatic, they are important because those United States partners, they had a special survey to fill in with the very specific requirements. At this point, for the application, explorers should really take it as a strict rules. Once you're gonna move to the interview phase, assuming of course you went through the remote evaluation, I can tell you from the experience, there is sometimes a way of certain flexibility, but that really depends on the United States node, and it's only possible to know during one-on-one interaction with the United States node. So in that sense, please keep it as a strong rule, because if during the eligibility evaluation process, we actually check this. This is checked like automatically. So if your profile, if you selected some United States profile that doesn't, it's not open for innovators, for example, and your profile is innovator, you can be directly removed, and then our system automatically will move to the second option as the second of your choice. Those of you that have not yet been on the F6S application, we haven't mentioned that, but you have up to 3 choices regarding the open idea application. So you can select your main preference, where you would like to go, with who you would like to collaborate in United States, and additional option. Those of you that have ever done the Erasmus program, that sounds probably familiar. For challenges, of course, you don't have that option. You really need to be, you can apply only for one challenge. You need to be very specific and take your chance to, yeah, I hope I explained, I answered that question. So I don't know, Sarah or Julia, if we can go to other questions.
It will be me to lead the Q&A session, and I'll be taking your questions to the panel. We have 2 questions from Rafael. The first one is, if I submit an idea, how can I interact with the US node? Are there any contact details?
I can take this one. Rafael, no, there are no contact details. The profile of United States are kind of exhaustive of information, so it is a transparent call. So only your open idea application needs to be built only with reference to those information that you have on our website. Of course, you can do your own research, but it's not possible. We were not providing you directly with the email of professor or the name, because it's gonna be evaluated. You need to remember, it's gonna be evaluated by external evaluators. So to go to the interview process, first your application needs to be evaluated very transparently and compete with simply other application in the case of those points that I was mentioning. So know-how, excellence of your idea, and the impact. So those are the main criteria. So I hope I have answered this question, but if not, you can always ask additional, Rafael.
Let's take the second question for Rafael, so he gets a full answer. He asked, if I already have contacts at one of the US nodes, can they be chosen for the paired teams option?
Yes, they can be chosen. That's a very straight answer. Yeah. You just need to make sure to obtain this the signature on the commitment, the document that Pablo explained. This document template you can find on our website, and then you can inform them about the content of the memorandum of understanding, because they need to be aware that once, assuming that you are selected, they will be required to sign this memorandum of commitment. So this just to keep in mind those 2 information.
Next question is from Dennis. He says, hi, I'm an early stage researcher with a 6-month pre-PhD research scholarship at an Italian university. And he asks, am I eligible for an NGI?
I don't see this question. Sorry, Sarah. Can you just repeat? I didn't. I see now. Sorry. Yeah. Hi. Okay. I see that now. Sorry. With a 6 months. Yes, you are eligible, and as far as you are still affiliated during your PhD program with European University, Italian University. That means yes. Now I can see. Then yes, you are eligible to apply.
And then we have one last question, which asks, my target university department for a paired application is also listed for open calls. How should I formulate my application?
Well, if you are a part application and you have already established contact, in that sense, it's really up to you, because you can. There is no extra point for the difference. Just to make it clear, if someone applies for the paired team or if someone applies for the open idea. But of course, if you are applying for the paired team, you are applying that you know with who exactly you're going to be collaborating, and that person will be attending also the interview from the United States side. So if I were you, I would apply for the per team, but you need to then make sure, as I mentioned before, you need to get the commitment, and you need to probably internally discuss with them if they are also willing again to sign this, or if they will advise you no, go with the open call. But in that sense, we don't know if this is exactly, for example, the same professor under department is a one big, depends on it, but in the United States mostly big entity, so it's a wrong word, but you know what I mean. It's a research group. So I would suggest just contact them and see. But if you have already established contact, I think that's a very straightforward way to go, instead of risking that you will be allocated maybe to some other representative of this department. That's my kind of diplomatic answer. But there is no rule. We will not both, in the case you apply, both will be eligible application. Of course, you can apply only once, so you need to choose. Do we have any other questions? I see now 11th answer to our panelists. I don't know, Sarah, if you can see, but let me check if I can go through the question. We understand about not willing to give the content information, but at the same time, there's always a risk of preparing a good proposal, but at the end would not meet the requirements. No, 11, unfortunately, no, we are really not even allowed to give contact. As I mentioned before, to Rafael, your proposal at the very first stage will be not evaluated at all by the United States node. The United States node will gonna receive only those proposals that are transparently evaluated by absolutely external evaluators from 2 areas. So even if you would be giving, first of another point, it's very important to mention that we are United States are collaborating with us on a different matter. They are partners in this H2020 project, but the participation is voluntary. So it's also, we cannot create an additional communication administrative burden on them side, but even that's not really fully applicable. The most important, we abide by the rules that everything needs to be transparent. And imagine if 100 applicants are contacting the United States node because they want to discuss more the concept of the project. It's impossible. The rules of this fellowship are very clear and transparent. So we are trying to, and the United States are trying to be very transparent and specific on the requirements they need, and in that sense, yes, that's the rules. We cannot really introduce here any new rules. So I hope that I clearly now answer your question. Up to my knowledge, we don't have more questions, unless.
Yes, we have 2 more in the Q&A window. One is from Francisca, who asked, if I come from an SME, can I connect my topic of the project to the products and services of the company?
Yes, Francisca, of course you can. If you're gonna align this with the other, with the also concept of the NGI, if this is within, of course, the domain of the next generation internet domain, meaning the whole goal, the mission. If it's your first time with us, then I encourage you and everyone to really go visit next generation internet page. So it's ngi.com EU, sorry, ngi.eu.com, because the concept of the NGI, that means the basic fund for this proposal, is very, very well explained. And you need to be just aligned with that. In particular for our project, you need to align at least to 1 out of 7 the technical domains that I mentioned in the beginning and are very clearly demonstrated on our page. So definitely you can, I would suggest, I don't know if you're gonna probably applying then under profile of innovator, and then you just need to build a good application to succeed, to proceed further, yeah.
We have one more question from Rafael. He asks, if I submit an open idea to one US node, can I ask for a specific prof at that node to host me during the fellowship?
No, if you apply for the open idea, you cannot. We are collaborating with we have our own specific let's say specific network of the professors or the other representatives that are committing to this project. So we cannot be sure that our professor that you would select can collaborate with you under open idea. If you have already such contact, we advise you then to apply under per team and make an internal agreement with that professor and introduce him to the program. And maybe it's the same situation as some other anonymous person explained. So if you have already the established connection, it seems to be that can be more beneficial for that type of applicants to apply under per team. Otherwise, under open ideas, you will not know who you're going to be working with in terms of exact person. And we will not be able to relieve it until only during the interview. Actually, this will be really discussed with you, because also the people that are our contacts, they may not necessarily be your supervisor. They will understand your project, your needs, who exactly they should connect you with, and in that sense, that then will be decided between them and you, of course, because it needs to be a win-win situation. Who is the best match to collaborate with you. So you will not be able, and we are not able to tell you this upfront.
I think that's all for the questions. We have no more questions. Thank you very much and if you still have some question, you can go ahead and write them down.
Okay. It seems to be we don't have more questions for today. Of course, you see our
There's one more. There's one more.
Okay.
There's one more. The University of my interest welcomes researchers for open ideas. I am an innovator. Can I apply for this university? I'm already in contact with them. Or is better as per team?
So if I understand correctly, within our profile, they stated they are open only for researchers. And in that sense, if you would apply, you wouldn't be automatically, you wouldn't be matching. Yeah, in that sense, I would really advise you to contact them and explain the situation. Probably in that sense, it's better to apply for the per team, but I would suggest stay in contact with us, because yeah, it's important that if they don't want to go through again this procedure of the per team, although it's just in fact it should be automatic, because they already signed with us memorandum of understanding. So I would suggest that you internally talk to them and explain the situation, that in the profile or in the past in the survey that they were sending us their requirements and their demands, your profile doesn't match there, and still you would like to apply with the open ideas. So whether they prefer you gonna go through randomly, or whether they can simply give you again this commitment, the signature on the commitment, and you will just apply for the per team. Then you are sure that you will not be discouraged by the system from your choice. Because if we're gonna see that you are innovator and this open idea is not in our system, is closed for innovators, you will be automatically withdraw, and obviously that would be a pity.
We have one more question from Ricardo. He asks, are we worsely evaluated if we opt for a full virtual expedition in a pair team scenario?
Are we worsely evaluated or if we opt for full? No, Ricardo, of course no. First of all, in the application form, at the moment, the application assuming the good scenario. So you fill the application assuming that you will be able to do it physically in the United States. Of course, when the time comes and it's June and you are selected June and we see the situation obviously doesn't allow you to travel, then you will be asked look at your proposal and alter in that way, or shift some tasks or alter some tasks to make it visible for remote collaboration. But at this stage of the application, please build your application in the way, assuming that you will be able to do this offline expedition. So I hope that this is clear for everyone.
Okay, that's all. No more questions.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, if there are no more questions, I hope you took note of our contacts, and I hope just you're gonna type NGI Explorers, you will definitely be followed to our main page. So thank you so much. Good luck with your applications, and I truly hope, really truly hope to see some of you at least, the winners physically during the immersion, but if not, I will definitely see you during the interview phases. So again, good luck and have a great weekend. Actually, we are Friday. So thank you. Bye.